Fall Out Boy is an American rock band that started in the suburb of Chicago, Willamette, Illinois in 2001. Its four members are Pete Wentz, Andy Hurley, Joe Throman, and Patrick Stump. Fall Out Boy got their name from asking the crowd at a show one night what their name should be. Someone in the crowd called out, "Fall Out Boy," which is the name of the sidekick of Radioactive Man from the television series The Simpsons. The guys liked it and the name stuck. The band did not know until afterwards that Fall Out Boy was the name of a superhero sidekick. Fall Out Boy, after releasing their second studio album, started to sell out entire stadiums. They were huge. From their start in 2001, Fall Out Boy has released 6 studio albums. Take This to Your Grave, 2003, Infinity on High, 2005, From Under the Cork Tree, 2007, Fully Ado, 2008, Save Rock and Roll, 2013, and American Beauty, American Psycho, 2015. In 2001, the band was a part of the subgenre of rock, being emo rock and pop rock. They were a part of the holy trinity of emo pop rock bands, which included Green Day, My Chemical Romance, and Fall Out Boy. What does it mean to be a part of a subgenre? What do they have in common? Aside from the sound of the band, they have a similar taste and style. They all have more eyeliner than a junior high girl. They have a thing for dark colors and hats. And they have side-swept long hair and a lot of product. They look alike and they sound similar, but what is a subgenre? Isn't all rock rock? Well, rock music emerged in the late 40s and early 50s. It's argued who truly had the first rock album, but the genre grew with artists like Elvis Presley, Chuck Berry, Bo Diddley, Fats Domino, Little Richard, Jerry Lee Lewis, and Buddy Holly. Then, in the late 50s, early 60s, the genre of rock started to decline with the retirement of Buddy Holly and Little Richie and Elvis going into the military. As rock itself was declining as a genre, its first subgenre popped up as surf music, which took components of rock music and added its own tone. That's really what subgenres are. They take key components of the main genre and they add their own twist. Subgenres are generally not mainstream music. They're a little more like hole-in-the-wall music genres for folks who enjoy that music to seek out. There was a real need for subgenres in the early 90s and 2000s because folks were breaking out of that cool kid, uncool kid split mentality, and because folks were dividing themselves in a more intimate way rather than who can play sports and who can afford cool shoes. People were also conforming less to society's box of what is considered normal. And they wanted to be that different kid that they always were but were never able to be. So in this time, folks were looking for others who would accept them and understand them, and they would understand their quirks. With people grouping themselves in a new way, the music scene needed to keep up. In the early 60s, subgenres of rock included garage rock, blues rock, and psychedelic rock. The 1970s came soft rock, hard rock, Christian rock. The mid-70s and 80s brought on punk rock, post-rock, glam metal, and alternative rock. The 1990s brought on grunge, post-grunge, pop punk, and indie rock. Also in the 1990s, alternative rock became a mainstream genre. The early 2000s brought emo, metalcore, and electric rock. All of these sub-rock genres grew and stemmed from each other. The music also changed and progressed as technology progressed. Fall Out Boy was considered emo pop and punk pop. The new emo had far greater appeal in the 1990s and early 2000s among teens and young adults than it had previously. At the same time, the use of the term emo went beyond the musical genre, becoming associated with fashion and hairstyle and music that expressed emotion. All three of these things can be found in the holy trinity of emo pop rock bands, as you can see here. The term emo has also been applied by critics to bands and artists including Fall Out Boy, My Chemical Romance, Simple Plan, American Rejects. Fall Out Boy also had a sound that has been described as less emo and more of the 1980s hardcore rock while still achieving a considerable amount of commercial success. At the peak of Fall Out Boy's career in 2009, the band decided to go onto an indefinite hiatus. There was a lot of friction within the group, and the band members were so young, Patrick and Joe only being 17, Andy being 21, and Pete Wentz being 22, that the band members needed to take a break for their mental health. During this hiatus, Pete Wentz created and was active in a band called the Black Cards. Joe and Andy went more into the rock scene and joined a band together called Damned Things. Patrick is the only member of the band who went solo during the hiatus and released his solo album Soul Punk. After 3 years, the band got back together, giving themselves an entire new look, an entire new sound. And to debut this new look and sound, they released their first single since the hiatus, My Songs Know What You Did in the Dark. The band is no longer considered emo, and Pete Wentz's skinny jeans are just as tight as everybody else's. The band is now considered alternative rock, pop punk, and pop rock. Since their return, they've released their album Save Rock and Roll in 2013, where they collaborated with folks like Elton John, Foxes, and Big Sean. And in 2015, they released their latest album, American Beauty, American Psycho, selling 218,000 copies in their first week, making it Fall Out Boy's third #1 album. Currently, Fall Out Boy is successful and is going on tour with Wiz Khalifa and Hoodie Allen. They're still selling out arenas. Their genre, look, and sound may have changed, but their fans still love them. And throughout Fall Out Boy's career, throughout their rises and falls, since the beginning of Fall Out Boy in 2001, one thing has remained unchanged, and that is that Patrick Stump is the cute one of the group.